Ovarian cancer lawsuits. Johnson & Johnson's $9 billion scandal isn't over yet. What if the product you've trusted your whole life, something you've used for yourself or your loved ones, was secretly deadly? For generations, Johnson & Johnson's talcum powder was a name synonymous with purity and care. But now it's at the center of a $9 billion legal battle, with claims it caused ovarian cancer. As more lawsuits surface, it's impossible not to wonder, could this happen with something you rely on every day? In this video, we'll break down the controversy, reveal the latest lawsuit updates, and uncover the patterns of deception that turn trust into betrayal. This isn't just a corporate scandal. It's a wake-up call for anyone who believes in the safety of the products they use. For over a century, Johnson & Johnson was a name families trusted. Their baby powder was a symbol of care and safety. Parents used it on their babies, comforting themselves with the knowledge that they were doing what was best for their little ones. After all, how could something so familiar, so beloved, possibly be harmful? But in the late 1990s, doubts began to creep in. Could talcum powder, something many had used for years without a second thought, really be linked to something as serious as ovarian cancer? Research revealed that talc, the primary ingredient in the powder, is often mined near asbestos deposits. Asbestos is a known carcinogen, and if talc isn't properly purified, the danger of contamination is real. Internal documents from as early as 1972 revealed that Johnson & Johnson knew their talc contained traces of asbestos. Despite this knowledge, they didn't take action. Instead of warning the public or recalling the product, they continued marketing it as safe for use, never fully disclosing the risks. By the 2000s, the reality of these risks became undeniable. More women diagnosed with ovarian cancer began coming forward, linking their illnesses to prolonged use of Johnson & Johnson's baby powder. Lawsuits piled up, and the case quickly escalated. A watershed moment came in 2018, when a Missouri jury awarded $4.7 billion in damages to 22 women who claimed their ovarian cancer was caused by years of using the baby powder. Though the award was later reduced, the damage to Johnson & Johnson's reputation was done. The case signaled the beginning of a massive reckoning for the company. Why this scandal matters. For decades, talcum powder was a routine part of personal hygiene, often used by parents on their children from birth. Yet what most didn't know was that the talc fibers could travel through the reproductive system, potentially triggering ovarian cancer. Every year, around 20,000 women in the U.S. are diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and over 13,000 die from it. But here's the terrifying part. Many of them never considered that talcum powder could have played a role. Johnson & Johnson's response to the growing body of evidence has only fueled outrage. Despite internal knowledge of the risks, the company continued to market its product as safe, assuring consumers that it met the highest safety standards. What makes this even more troubling is how the company shifted its marketing efforts when sales began to decline. In the 1990s, Johnson & Johnson aggressively targeted African American and Latino women, presenting talcum powder as an essential part of beauty and hygiene routines. This intentional targeting of vulnerable communities has only added to the ethical concerns surrounding their practices. So why is this such a big deal? Because it's about a massive betrayal of trust. And now, decades later, the truth is coming out. But how many lives were impacted before it did? That's the real heartbreak. Recently, over 40,000 women have now filed lawsuits, many alleging that their use of Johnson & Johnson's talcum powder contributed to their ovarian cancer. And in the courtroom, juries are making their outrage clear. One family walked away with $72 million, $62 million of that in punitive damages. Another case saw a $55 million verdict. These are consequences. Consequences that stem from years of Johnson & Johnson's refusal to add a simple warning to their products, even as they knew the risks. Currently, at least over 1,200 additional lawsuits have been filed against the company. This number continues to grow, as tens of thousands of women are diagnosed with ovarian cancer each year. But here's the thing. How did a company this powerful avoid being held accountable for so long? And why did it take so long for the public to catch up with the dangers they faced? Before we move to the settlement offer, if you're finding this information helpful and want to stay informed about important health topics, especially as they relate to cancer and corporate scandals related to cancer, kindly like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our future videos. Now let's continue. The $9 billion settlement offer. In response to mounting legal pressure, Johnson & Johnson proposed a $9 billion settlement to resolve over 50,000 lawsuits. While this might sound like a significant sum, there's a catch. The settlement would cap the company's liability for future claims. What does this mean? Women diagnosed with ovarian cancer after the settlement might have no legal recourse. Critics argue that this move effectively shields Johnson & Johnson from future accountability, while offering victims only a fraction of what they deserve. With over 50,000 claimants, the average payout would be less than $225,000 per person. For many victims, this amount barely covers medical bills, let alone the emotional and financial toll of their illness. Even more controversial is the legal strategy Johnson & Johnson used to manage these lawsuits. The company created a subsidiary, Red River Talc, to absorb all talc-related liabilities. This subsidiary then declared bankruptcy, a maneuver known as the Texas two-step. While this strategy paused ongoing lawsuits, it allowed Johnson & Johnson to protect its assets. Critics have condemned this move as a blatant abuse of bankruptcy laws. These laws were designed to help struggling businesses, not multi-billion-dollar corporations, navigate financial distress. By exploiting these loopholes, Johnson & Johnson has been able to minimize its financial exposure while leaving victims to fight for justice in an uneven system. Media coverage and public reaction. The Johnson & Johnson scandal has drawn intense media scrutiny. Advocacy groups, legal experts, and victims have criticized the company's actions as unethical and calculated. For many, this isn't just a legal battle, it's a fight for survival. One particularly troubling aspect of the case is Johnson & Johnson's alleged attempt to manipulate the settlement process. Critics claim the company inflated the number of claimants by including cases unrelated to talc exposure. This tactic, known as stuffing the ballot box, undermines the credibility of the settlement and pressures victims to accept lower payouts. This isn't just about Johnson & Johnson. If they succeed in using bankruptcy laws to shield themselves from liability, it could set a dangerous precedent for other corporations. This case raises critical questions about corporate accountability, consumer protection, and the role of the legal system in holding powerful entities accountable. Current developments and future outlook. As of 2024, the $9 billion settlement remains under review. Judges in North Carolina and New Jersey have dismissed similar bankruptcy filings, questioning the legality of Johnson & Johnson's strategy. Despite these setbacks, the company continues to pursue its case in Texas, hoping for a more favorable outcome. Meanwhile, Congress is considering bipartisan legislation aimed at closing loopholes that allow corporations to exploit bankruptcy laws. If passed, this legislation could prevent future abuses and ensure victims have a fair chance to seek justice. The outcome of this case will have far-reaching implications, not just for Johnson & Johnson, but for corporate accountability as a whole. Are the products you trust really safe? The Johnson & Johnson talc scandal is a stark reminder of what happens when corporate profits take precedence over consumer safety. For decades, this product was marketed as a symbol of care and reliability. Now it stands as an example of negligence and greed. What do you think? Should Johnson & Johnson face stricter penalties? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. But don't stop here. Take action. Check the description for resources on ovarian cancer awareness and practical tips for staying informed as a consumer. Knowledge is power, and together we can demand better from the companies we trust. If you care about uncovering corporate scandals and protecting your health, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's stay informed and empowered. Thanks for watching. We hope you found this information valuable and insightful. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel. Kindly hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on important health topics. Together, we can push for a safer, more transparent future. Remember, the information provided in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended to replace professional medical advice. So always consult with your physician or a qualified healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet, exercise routine, or healthcare plan. Your health is important, and having professional guidance can make all the difference in ensuring the best outcomes. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.